Okay, guys, today we're going to learn about graphing parabolas, okay? So there's a couple of things that we need to make sure that we understand. We need to pull some stuff out. First thing we need to pull out is the vertex, okay? So if you look at this, this is y equals ax minus h squared plus k. And we know that the vertex is h comma k. Well, the h value is going to change signs. So it's positive 1 in there. You pull it out, it'll be a negative 1. But the k stays the same, which would be 4. So the vertex is negative 1, 4. That's our starting point when we start to graph this, okay? Now, the other things that we need to identify would be what is the focus, and then what is the directrix. And then, of course, the AOS, right, which is axis of symmetry. Those are all things that you got to make sure you identify when graphing a parabola. So the focus and the directrix is going to be really easy, okay? So we need to find our length, okay, which is our length from the vertex up to the focus, and that same length is the same distance from the vertex down to the directrix, okay? So yesterday we gave you this. We said length equals 1 over 4 times A, right? And then we rearranged it to say A equals 1 over 4 times the length to find A. So we're going to go back to our equation, but when you look at A, and A here happens to be negative 1, we're going to look at it in terms of an absolute value, okay? And I told you that when we solved for A yesterday on the stuff, we didn't put a sign with it yet. We had to determine whether it was opening up or it was opening down, right? In order to give it a sign. So when you plug it in this equation, you're not going to use a sign. You're going to treat it as though it's the absolute value. So here we go. Length equals 1 over 4 times 1, right? The A is 1. Well, it's really negative 1, but we're treating it as absolute value. So it's 1. So 1 over 4 times 1 is nothing more than 0.25, right? Any questions about that? How so? Right here. Okay, look at my steps. I got L equals 104A, L equals 104 times 1, right? And then you got to evaluate that on the calculator. Okay. We brought the calculator up yesterday so that we looked at how to type it in. Because you can type it in and think you're typing it in correctly and make a mistake. Okay. So we know that the vertex is, let me do this. Let me move this down, and move this down. I think it'll make a little bit more sense. And we said, ooh, well, it's opening down. It's opening down, so let's hold up for a second. This is going to make a little bit more sense. Now, can you see how I arrange these? Do you see a pattern on how I arrange these? Except for the very last one, which is the AOS. That's just basic common, just give me an equation type thing. But can you focus in on how I've got it set up? Directrix, vertex, and who? Focus. How is that arranged? It's in what? It's in order, right? I mean, this thing is opening down. So therefore, if we're looking at this and this is opening down, then we've got this scenario, right? Which means the directrix is up top, then the vertex, and then the focus, right? So that's going to make it a little bit easier for you when we do this. So we said the vertex again was what? Negative 1, 4. Okay? So the coordinates for, well, it's not really not coordinates. It's more of a, excuse me, a value is what would the y value for the directrix be? What would the y value for the directrix be, y'all? 4, come on. Not just 4, it can't be that. That's vertex. I want the directrix. Huh? Well, we're going to add 0.25 here, and we're going to do what here? Right, subtract 0.25 there. Correct? Y'all look at me like I got... It is exactly what we done yesterday. No. Remember this, we're looking at vertical, right? So the vertical, the axis will never change, right? So let's just do the focus. Let's do the focus first. So this would, the x value will not change, right? Comma, what is 0.25 less than 4? Thank you. Right? What is 0.25 more than 4? 4 point what? Okay, now, but the directrix is not a coordinate, so to speak. It's not a physical point. It is a line. But that line is a special line because it's a horizontal line. And the equation for the horizontal line is this. It will always be y equal to a number, right? If you think about a horizontal line, and if you were to plot all those out and list them as a table, all of your y values would be the same. Okay, that's what ensures a horizontal line. Now, any questions how we've got the directrix and the focus from here? Anybody? You good? Yeah. Okay, so you've got the directrix, the vertex, and the focus. Now the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is your folding point for your parabola. That means if you folded it about that line, that vertical line, it would lay slap dab on top of the other, right? That is a mathematical word, slap dab. Okay, so if you think about it like this, if I've got like this, you know, I'm kind of like here, and you turn, see how my arms are now, my elbows, everything's together? Like if I had a bright light, I'd just make one shadow and it just look like one arm, but really there's two. It's crazy like that. Scarecrow, or wait, hands up, right? Stop, hands up. And then turn, right? See all the things you learn in math? It's great. Life skills. So, it's a vertical line, right? Vertical line. So, vertical line, the equation for a vertical line is x equals some number. So, what is the x value, ladies and gentlemen? -1, thank you. Okay? So, I want that. Okay? I want that. Now, when you graph this tomorrow, not tomorrow, on your quiz Friday, here's some things. So we're going to go -1, 4, right? -1, 1, 2, oh, -1, 1, 2, 3, what? 4? Oh, it is. Thank you. I know. Got to get on the -1, right? Here, that's -1. There. Okay. It's too early in the morning. Now, we've got to go down just a little bit to find the vertex, right? And that vertex would be right there. And then let's see if I could draw a line. Haha, I can, you can't. Well, maybe you can if you used there. All right. All right, now I got it. I can move it down just a little bit, right? Yeah, I love smart boards. They're smart sometimes. Then my grid stuff is off, right, for the other 2 points, right? So I can't just move the grid up. I know. You only have one dot, but it'll be okay. But my OCD is going to kick in, and I have to do this. There is two dots. You're exactly correct. Now, do you see that? I have the vertex and the who. Yeah. So for grins and giggles, you could do this, right? Well, haha. Wait. I'm going to teach you how to graph a parabola, the first set of points, and never have to do any computation. You ready? Yeah, this always works, right? Let me go right here. The first point, the first rate of change, I should say, is always A over 1. A over 1. So what is my A? Negative 1, right? So it's going down, right? See how that's the negative change? Right? So I need to go down 1 over 1, which puts me right here, and then down 1 over 1 puts me right there. So now I have how many points on that parabola? Nope. Well, for the parabola, 3. Because I have the vertex and a point on each side of that vertex, right? One away from it, right? And then I also had the focus, but the focus is not on the parabola, right? So here we go. Use the color I haven't got here. So there you go. Is that better? Did y'all know that this right here, a little bit of was true? Do y'all remember that? Huh? I don't know if you would have done that in science. Let me do this. There. Gives me a better one. And then I can do this over. Okay, let's look at this problem. Negative 1/2 x minus 6, right? So this is opening down. So the first thing I have is called the directrix. Then I'll have the vertex. Then I'll have the focus. And if you put them in this order based off how it's opening, life will become much easier for you. Okay? So the vertex is 6, comma, negative 6. Remember, this is the H, and this is the K. And the K doesn't change signs, but the H does because it's inside with a minus, right? Well, when I say it's inside with a minus, this is what I'm talking about, right? X minus H squared, right? So it changes it. Okay, so let's find the length. Let's find the length. So the length is 1 over 4a, right? So that would be 1 over 4 times negative 1/2, which is what, guys? What does that give me? Well, let me back up. What did I do wrong? It's not supposed to be a what? A negative. You look at it in terms of an absolute value, right? So my faux Now, that's 4 times 1/2. Well, guys, we know 4 times 1/2 is 2, right? So 1 over 2 would be what? 0.5. Did you get the length to be 0.5? Yes or no? Okay, good. So what that tells you is, it tells you that from the vertex, we're going to go up 1/2 and then down 1/2 to get the directrix and the focus. All right? Question, go. Okay, yesterday we just found A, and I told you when we found A that we were looking at it in terms of an absolute value, right? That it didn't have a sign on it yet, and we had to make a determination on what the sign would be from how it was orientated, right? Whether it was opening down or opening up when we were writing the equations given a vertex and a focus, or a vertex and a directrix. Okay. Today, we know what A is, right? And it's negative, so we know it's opening down, which helps me to go, okay, I need the directrix up top, vertex, and then focus. But here, this A, when I plug it in, needs to be an absolute value. So I could put it like this right here if I wanted to, like that, absolute values around it. But just plug the A in without the sign, right? I did. Yesterday, we were finding what the A was based off the length. And we plugged it into our calculator. We're doing the same thing, but we're just plugging in a different thing as far as. Yesterday, we plugged in a length and solved for A. Today, we're plugging in A and solving for the length. Okay. All right, so we've got to go a half. So if I go a half up from -6, then what's this up here? What's my Y value? -5 point what? Ah, good. Don't go 6.5, because on negatives, when you go up, it decreases, right? Now, that's the Y value. Y equals -5.5, because that directrix is a line, right? A horizontal line. And then, so I'm doing plus 0.5. Now I'm doing minus 0.5, which is 6 comma -6 point what? 5. Okay. Now, sorry. Let's go back to number 2. So we've got that. We've got our directrix, our vertex, our focus. What's the one thing I haven't filled out? The AOS. What is the AOS? It's the axis of who? Symmetry. What is it? Now, is it a point? No, it's a line. What type of line? Vertical line. So therefore, it would be x equal to, guess what? You say x equals h, right? Technically, that is the equation. X equals h, the h value, right? So what are the h values here? Thank you. Okay. So on your formula sheets and stuff, hopefully you've got that stuff down, right? I would put this stuff down if I were you. I would make sure I had the A equation. I'd make sure I had the L equation. I'd make sure I had the axis of symmetry, x equals h. Directrix is y equal k, right? Well, not k, k plus L, right? Or k plus or minus 1 over 4a. All right, so what's my last thing I got to do? I got to graph it, right? Yeah? Okay, so stay with me, because I'm going to put the directrix, focus, and vertex, and then I'm going to show you how to do those points again, one away from it, right? And that's critical. So let's go -5.5. Okay. 6, -6, 6, -6 is here, right? Right? Y'all with me? And then focus is down here, right? Right there, right? And then I've got some kind of line, right? Somewhere right in here. 5.5. Yeah. Do you have to draw that line? Yes, ma'am, you do. It is part of what is required. I can't move it. The resolution is a little bit, it's being stubborn. But it should be -5.5, right? So please be mindful of that. And then, listen. I don't know. Keep hearing people talk. I'm not sure what's going on there. Can't have that much of a mathematical conversation. What is A? -1/2, right? So your first rate of change, slope, is A over 1, right? I'm going to call it M1, because that's your first rate of change. So you're going to go over one spot on the x-axis, left and right of the axis of symmetry, right? And you're going to go vertically, whatever it says for the A. So I'm going to take negative 1/2 and make it a decimal. Because let's just be honest. Graphing fractions probably will kick your bahootie. Let's do a decimal and you'll be much more likely to be successful. Now, from my vertex, I need to go down 1/2, but over how much? 1, right? Down 1/2, but over 1. So down 1/2 and over 1. So I should have a point there and where? Right there. Okay? So all this time that they made you do the 5 point, right? The 5 points. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to say 5 point summary, but a 5 point graph or parabola or quadratic. You remember that? You could get 3 of them just like that, right? So, yeah, algebra 1. Okay? Now, you could, let's do blue. There. Is that okay? It's marvelous. Marvelous. Okay, any questions? You're good? You sure? No? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at number 5. All right? So, first things first, how's this opening? Up or down? Up. How do you know it's going up? Because who is positive? Good, the A is positive. Let's talk math. Talk math to me, okay? Okay, now, so if it's opening up, who is up here up top? The focus. The focus is up here now. Then the vertex will always be in the middle. And guess who's down here? Directrix. Man, I can't write. I'm going to put y equals already. Is that okay? Like a rubber stamp. Okay, what's the vertex? Ladies and gentlemen, what's the vertex? -5, 0. Okay, now, let's find my L. L equals 1/4 times A. So that's 1/4 times 1, which is 0.25. Thank you very much, folks. So we're going to go, look, this is great. Plus 0.25 and what? So what is 0.25 away from 0? Aha, there, right? -5, 0.25, right? 0.25 from 0 is that. And then this one would be, well, I need the y value, so that would be negative what? If I'm at 0 and I go down 1/4, what am I at? Negative 0. What? 25. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Last but not least, we have the AOS. X equals -5. Thank you. So what did you think was negative? What happened? Nothing? No, directrix, it's a y equals. It's a horizontal line, right? Horizontal lines are y equals, right? Okay? Vertical lines are x equals. Now, do you see what I'm doing right here with these? Let me highlight them. All right. So there, you're on the same page as I am now, right? Okay, one last thing and you can plot it. I want to know what is my first rate of change. What is my M1? M1 equals A over 1, right? So what is A? 1. So my first rate of change is 1 over 1. So let me do the vertex real quick. It's down here. So I'm going to go over 1 and up 1 on both sides, right? So over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1. keys. I done that twice. Okay, hold up. Okay, thank you. Here, and then up one there, right? So I still got to put my directrix, my focus in there, right? So you got to do that. You should be good.